Tales from the Grey Side. We broadcast where candles no longer burn, in sockets carved from fractured urn. Each tale a nail in coffin seam, each verse a veiled recursive dream. No gods, no gore, just whispering dread, from lovers lost to books unread. A warning etched in rusted chrome, you're never truly alone at home. We speak in riddles, rhyme and wraiths, in tongues that time betrays with faiths. Our mission, haunt, unveil, provoke, with stories cloaked in ritual smoke. Each short a sigh behind the screen, a poem stitched from what's unseen. We offer not the scream or shriek, but horror's hush, its subtle leak. So knock 3 times, then strike the match, unleash the tale, unhook the latch. The ones who listen, read and stare, may find what isn't really there. You've tuned into Tales from the Grey Side, where shadows whisper and the unknown listens. The Star That Watched. In Nidhollow's vale, where the stone teeth rise, a silence slept beneath the skies. The meadows dreamed of older suns before the birth of mortal ones. Above it hung, neither bright nor dead, a star that watched but never bled. Its beams were thoughts too vast to name, its shimmer spoke of mindless flame. Through rites inscribed in ichor-lace scroll, the villagers gave it voice and soul. Their eyes grew wide, their faces thin. It saw through them and looked within. Now whispers haunt the forest's hush, and time itself begins to rush. The star still watches, cold and high, a question cast against the sky. The Sight. In the forgotten village of Careling Holt, tucked between saltstone cliffs and mist-veiled woods, the elders speak of a condition, the sight. It doesn't come on gradually, it arrives with a whisper in your left ear while dreaming, a pattern of light that flickers wrong on the wall, a shape just behind your reflection that no one else sees. Those who develop the sight see the world as it truly is, not as it should be. Beneath reality's veneer, they witness shifting geometries, hidden hungers, and rituals carried out by masked figures who glide through time like a fog through trees. The afflicted grow pale, speak in reverse syllables, and begin drawing circles inside circles with no beginning. No one knows what causes it. Some say it's the price for knowledge. Others say it's what reality does when it leaks. But one thing is known. Those who see too much vanish. Not disappear. They unhappen. The Passenger. He'd always thought of his body as a map. Every tattoo a landmark. Ports visited, women loved, fights lost and won. A compass rose on his chest, a kraken on his thigh. A Japanese phrase down his ribs he once believed meant endurance. A waitress in Osaka later told him it meant microwave. He laughed. That was the kind of a man he was, laughing at his own foolishness, then punching a wall when no one else did. He'd gone to sea to outrun himself. His temper had made land dangerous. Too many broken noses, too many broken promises. But the ocean didn't care. It swallowed rage like salt. In a village too far off the map for tourists to ever find, he found the tattooist. No sign, just a curtain of beads and the smell of ink and antiseptic. The man worked with bamboo and bone, tapping pigment into flesh with a rhythm like rain on a coffin. The books were older than the shop. Leather cracked, pages brittle, symbols he'd never seen, jagged, curling, like scars that had learned to write. One caught his eye. The tattooist squinted, then nodded slowly. "Control," he said. "Very strong. Very old." That was the word, the one he'd never had. Control over his fists, his hunger, his need to ruin good things. He pointed to the back of his neck. "There," he said, "where I can't see it." The pain was exquisite, like a thread pulled taut beneath the skin. Afterward, he felt calm. For days, weeks, he didn't shout, didn't drink, didn't chase. He watched his hands do things he hadn't decided. Sign papers, pack bags, board ships he hadn't planned to sail. He told himself it was working, that he was finally in control. Until he woke one night with blood under his nails and no memory of why. Until he saw his reflection smile when he wasn't smiling. Until he realised he hadn't spoken aloud in days and his mouth moved only when spoken to. The tattoo didn't give him control, it gave it away. Now he watches, from somewhere deep behind his eyes, a passenger in a body that walks with purpose, speaks with charm, and does things he would never do. Things he could never stop. The girl who collected dead things. From the age of 5, Elsin began collecting dead things. Small, silent tributes. Beetles dried into husks. Bird skulls nestled in moss. A fox's paw with stiff fur. She never told anyone, not even her mother, who already had enough shadows behind her eyes. The hunger came later. It wasn't dramatic, just a thought. I wonder what they taste like. It grew sharper with time. The smell of decay no longer repelled her. It sang. She fought it. She tried. She buried the objects deeper beneath her floorboards, dug holes into the garden at night, whispered apologies to things that couldn't hear. Her mother never spoke about Elsin's father. Whenever asked, she'd shrug, half laugh. Don't know him. Some mistake, maybe. Only once did she slip, trembling after too much wine. The graveyard. I was dragged, and he wasn't right. There was a thickness to the way she said right, as if the word pointed not to cruelty, but to something deeper, something elemental in his flesh. Elsin stopped asking after that. At 17, when the hunger bloomed like a second mouth behind her ribs, she found her way to the crypt at Ashfeather Hill, drawn by an old compulsion that now felt like instinct. And there he was, skin like weathered stone, eyes glassy and wrong, feeding. Her father didn't speak. He just raised one hand, a hand of curled claws and moss-stained bone, and Elsin walked to him, bare feet quiet against the cold stone. The hunger was no longer a war. It was a homecoming. The face in the rain. The rain had been falling for hours, a steady hiss against the windshield, like static from a dead channel. Martin kept his eyes on the road, knuckles white on the wheel. He was a travelling salesman, Hoovers mostly, and he knew this stretch of highway too well. Flat, straight and empty, just asphalt and memory. He'd heard the stories. Everyone had. Every salesman he ever knew had a story. Hitchhikers who weren't there when you looked again. pale faces in the rear view, angry spirits looking for revenge for what happened to them, ghosts who just wanted a ride home and left their coats in your car, and when you went to return it, you learned the truth. Them stories always gave him goosebumps. So when he saw the figure by the roadside, thumb out, soaked to the bone, he didn't slow down, didn't even blink. But then he saw him again, and again. Same drenched coat, same dark face shadowed inside its rain-drenched hood, same looking stretch of road. The fourth time the hitchhiker didn't raise his thumb, he just stared, a look of horror on his face, mouth wide, eyes bulging, like he'd seen something that chilled his marrow. Martin's stomach dropped. He pressed harder on the gas. He wouldn't sleep that night, thinking about this lost spirit and what his story might be. Out in the rain, the hitcher trudged on. He'd been walking this road for hours. One of the worst nights of weather he'd ever seen. The rain never stopped. The cold never left. When he first heard a car coming along on that deserted road, he prayed they'd stop. They never did. Later he prayed that it didn't. That car, that same damn car, kept passing him. Same make, same rusted bumper, same man behind the wheel, eyes glazed like sleep had taken him long ago. On the fourth pass, he accidentally got a better look at the driver and just about soiled himself. It was haunting, the look of intense despair that emanated from the hollow-eyed driver's mangled face. Local legend said a salesman once crashed near here, fell asleep at the wheel, hit the only tree for miles, dead centre. They say he never left, just kept driving, trying to outrun the moment he died. The hitchhiker had heard the stories, everyone had, so when he saw the car again, he looked away, hood pulled up tight, bent over, battling the rain. He just needed to trudge on past that solo tree, the point that the phantom driver could never pass. When he finally passed the tree, the rain seemed to ease for a moment, as if the storm itself held its breath. Then came the sound, a distant echoing crash. He didn't turn around, just bowed his head, whispered a prayer for the lost soul, and hoped that maybe, one night, it would be enough. I see you. She first hears it at the checkout. A man behind her, smiling too wide. I see you. She turns confused. He's already walking away. Then the barista. I see you, she says, handing over the coffee. No eye contact, no explanation. It happens again. A jogger passing by. A child in a pram. A woman on the train mouthing it through the glass. I see you. Always the same words, always the same vacant smile. She tells herself it's a prank, a trend, but the faces begin to change. Too pale, too long, eyes like holes pressed into clay. She stops going out, locks the door, but they find her. On the radio, in the mirror, on her phone screen glitching. I see you. She screams at them, begging for answers, but they only watch and repeat, I see you. The world blurs, she claws at her skin, trying to disappear, trying not to be seen. Then, a hospital room, monitors beeping, she lies still, tubes in her arms. A man sits beside her, scrolling his phone. He speaks into it, distracted. Yeah, that's right, Julie's had an accident. I'm phoning everybody to let them know. She's in the ICU, she's being watched.